We are the Tri-State Boys. We are back with X-Men 97, Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4, Rise of Apocalypse, Part 1 and Part 2. I am here, of course, 1/3 of the Tri-State Boys representing the city of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, John Bat 426, and my guest.
Yes, sir. Jada God here from the Big Apple.
Queens, get the
Hey,
money.
sir, ready to talk some X-Men?
Yes. And I really appreciated the previous podcast we did about episode 2 because I love the organic flow of these conversations because a lot of fans, the general audience is more familiar with the Avengers as far as the MCU goes, but they don't know who was the the big team of the 90s. And I'll go back to the 80s too because the X-Men were always bigger and more popular than the Avengers. This is not a slight to the Avengers, but I'm trying to let you know that the X-Men is where it's at. You know what I mean? So of course,
Yeah.
the the MCU version of the X-Men has not been cast yet, even though I hear in Spider-Man Brand New Day there is the first official casting of an X-Men member. Now, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, right, Jay?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know if that's been confirmed or not, but go ahead.
I don't know if you wanted to head into like rumor territory, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you can do it.
Okay. Yeah. There's a rumor that Sadie Sink is casted as Jean, so that's the first. Well, I don't want to say first official. Well, yeah. First official X-Men because we got the first mutant in Black Panther 2
Right.
with Namor. So
And,
with
and
Jean and Spider Man, that would be the first official X Men member that's
now I don't
revealed.
I don't know if you know her by name, but Sadie Sink is Max from Stranger Things, the redhead
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
dating Caleb McLaughlin's Lucas Sinclair character. Yeah. The redhead was
yeah,
dating a black boy. All right. I'm trying to be all proper. Like, yeah, she was dating Lucas Sinclair, the black kid that was dating the redhead. That's who she is. She's the redhead. All right.
yeah,
And I again, these conversations just go as they go. I hope it's not true. It's like, why would you introduce the X-Men in a Sony collaboration? That I don't understand. Because remember, all the Spider-Man movies, the MCU, Disney, Marvel works with Sony. So my thing is this: why aren't you focusing on Sony-related characters? Why would you just shoehorn an X-Men character into Spider-Man Brand New Day? I don't get that, and I don't like that. If it's
yeah.
true,
Yeah, and then an even bigger question: why Jean out of all the other X Men? Like I would have seen like if Wolverine popped up in like a cameo or something, maybe like hey
well,
bub, like Spider Man. But Gene, that's kind of okay. Yeah, I don't know. Well, at this time of this recording, the movie comes out in what 2 weeks or next week?
2 weeks. Yep, 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I guess in 2 weeks we'll have that answer.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah,
yeah. As of now, I'm puzzled and perplexed on that decision. I just hope it works out, please.
yeah. And again, these are rumors. This is conjecture because we haven't seen the movie. So who knows? A bigger X-Men character might debut as well. But we don't know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
and I will say, back in 2017, Hugh Jackman was on the set of Infinity War. So I don't know if they're going to make Hugh
Mm.
Jackman old man Logan for the MCU and they just cast a younger Wolverine. I don't know because in Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman was like, "Yeah, y'all don't need to recast." You know what I mean? Now I do want to see a recast, but Hugh Jackman kind of proved to me in Deadpool and Wolverine, which was 22 years after his debut in X Men.
Mhm.
No, 24 years after his debut. Hugh Jackman still got it, Jordan. He still got it.
Yeah. Yeah, me personally, I would um want to see how to frame this. I would want a recast for Wolverine, just like a fresh slate, you know. But
Yes, I agree.
if if Wolverine, 'cause what is he now in real life? Like almost like 55 almost.
Yeah, he's like I think 58. I think
Yeah. I think it's time to hang it up. Um, yeah, 'cause I don't want them to have to keep using like stunt double. I don't know if the new Wolverine is gonna do his own stunts, or I don't even know if he did he do his own stunts
I don't
when he
know.
was younger.
Yeah, in X2, he did die. You know, when he's in the school
Yeah,
fighting off Stryker, like "Rah!" Like he did jump onto a crash pad. But I
yeah,
agree with you, Jada guy. Like I think it breathes life into a franchise when you start afresh and start new.
yeah, yeah. I just I think like if anybody's like complaining about a recast of a 60-year-old Wolverine, like I think at that point, yeah, I think you're just the problem. Like
Right,
this,
because
it should be like I think the way Wolverine and Deadpool ended off, I think that was a good enough send off for the
I think
Deadpool.
Logan should have been his send off personally.
Yeah,
But when I
yeah,
watch,
yeah, yeah. Or
but watching
even
Deadpool
now.
Wolverine, I was like, okay, I'm good with this. I'm good. Yes. And again, when you do that, if you recast, that means Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is kind of safe, if that makes sense. It's like,
Yeah,
usually like, oh, they must be going to kill off the old Wolverine and introduce a new one. Okay, they killed off Hugh and brought Hugh back. So now I know that Wolverine that I grew up, loving is safe somewhere in the MCU universe. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So uh again, I told you these conversations kind of just flow however they go, whatever. Because again, they're probably like, dude, timestamp when you start talking about Apocalypse, man. So, if you need a timestamp, you can go to 7 minutes or whatever. And hopefully you're here for me and here for Jada God, the Tri-State Boys. And you can join in the conversation. You can comment on what we're talking about for the entire podcast. All right. So we're going to get right into it. Rise of Apocalypse Part 1. I was hyped just looking at the title because I knew that this would explore the origins of Apocalypse as well as the future of Apocalypse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we saw the young Insaba Noor in the finale of X-Men 97 season 1. So, we see him with the long hair, the pale skin, the gray skin, and the blue lips. I don't know who designed Apocalypse, but I like the wackiness of his character. Like for some reason, the blue lips and the connected, it works for me. Like it just does.
Yeah. Yeah, I think since it's back in the Egyptian times, I think it fits with like, or it makes him stand out more. That like, of course, he would be the first mutant because of his physical appearance. So
Right.
I think it makes it just sticks out more, rather him just being like a buff dude that had like that almost looked like Roman Reigns or something. Like
Yeah.
he,
Yeah. So I mean, because when Apocalypse first debuted,
yeah,
you can faintly see his picture in the background of this StreamYard overlay.
yeah,
But he has a very strange appearance, and it's hard to make somebody that looks strange to be a long lasting character. Apocalypse was created in 1986, I think, by Louise Simonson and Jackson Juice, Guice. Okay, and he was the first antagonist of X Factor, and we spoke about X Factor in the last podcast. But the original incarnation of X Factor was the original incarnation of the X-Men. All right, so
mm.
I don't know if you knew that, Jada God, but the
No, I
first
didn't.
group you didn't.
No.
Right. So the first X Factor group, as you can see in the overlay, is Warren Worthington, Angel, Hank McCoy, Beast, Jean Grey, Marvel Girl, Scott Summers, Cyclops, and Bobby Drake, Iceman. They were the first X Factor group, and they were working with. Back then, they didn't have Val Cooper, but they had somebody named Cameron Hodge, who later goes on to become a villain of X Factor. But their first big bad was Apocalypse. All right, and since 1986, Apocalypse has been a long-lasting character. This character has a lot of longevity. As I said in the previous podcast, when Marvel went bankrupt in 95, 96, the only storyline keeping the entire company afloat was the Age of Apocalypse. You have heard of that, right, Jordan? Jared?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So that just goes to show like how much of a gathering, how much of a following the Apocalypse character had with the Marvel comic reader universe. So they weren't buying anything else, but they was buying Age of Apocalypse. All right. So you want to start off with the episode, Rise of Apocalypse Part 1, and what was going on?
Yeah. So it showed it started off with Magneto having a conversation with Apocalypse. And he was pretty much
Now he was in Saba Noor then. He was in Saba Noor.
Yeah. He Magneto was pretty much putting the battery in his back, saying he should like you are the first mutant, and you should fight back against your oppressors.
Oh, right. Let me cut in there,
Yeah.
Jordan. Jada God. Now, when Saba Noor was a baby, he was abandoned in the desert, okay, because he's a freak. I mean, like this great kid with blue lips, get rid of him. I mean, so he was abandoned and he was found by a desert nomad named Baal, Baal, okay? And in this episode, he's voiced by Michael Dorn. Now, you guys, if you're older, you know that Michael Dorn was Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation. So the oppressor at the time was Rama Tut, okay? And Rama Tut was a time traveling pharaoh. And as we go on, I'll unveil to you who Rama Tut actually is. All right, so proceed, sir.
Yeah. So Magneto successfully pushed the battery in Saba Noor's back. He's riled up now. He's ready to fight the good fight. And then Professor X appears behind him like a projector. He's like, "Yo, bro, this man's the enemy, bro. What are you doing?" And it was kind of funny because for the first time, Professor X like, "Yo, bro, we have to kill him."
Right.
I don't know. It's like I don't know why you like sweet talking him. Our job is to off this guy so you don't mess up our timelines.
Right.
That was funny to see. Then I believe I don't know if it was here or later, but Magneto revealed that he's essentially trying to persuade Saba Noor to become like good, because if he is good, then he could essentially help all mutants in every timeline, which would further along the mutant race. So he's trying to use him to further along his like extremist ideology, essentially.
And again, Jada God, Magneto's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not, because if all the mutants got Apocalypse, then there's nothing stopping the mutants.
Right.
So,
and so
yeah.
I like the fact that I think they show. I think Bishop went back in time, right? And Ford
yeah.
Present. So Bishop has these armbands, and I think it was a couple of months where he's trying to he gave everybody an armband, and they're trying to get power to teleport everybody else, so they can go back to the time. Because Beast is like, do not mess with Saba Noor, because that will, if we alter the timeline, that'll alter their present, which is the future, and the future. So they're like, yo, let this be. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let this happen. Let this play out.
Yeah, but it was Magneto's tinkering that kind of set everything off, which is like revealed.
Right. So the Pharaoh Rama Tut, like, he got all this like high tech stuff in his pyramid. He got these chicks dancing, like a whole harem or whatever.
Yeah.
And he sends his general Logos after Saba Noor, because Pharaoh Rama Tut knows who Saba Noor is. So he's like, okay, you go forth, wipe out Baal and Saba Noor. But it just happens that the X-Men have gone back in time and they are affecting things. So let me do a little paralleling. All right. In the Rise of Apocalypse storyline, there is another group that travels to the past where Rama Tut is, because they're pursuing Rama Tut, because Rama Tut was an enemy of this group, but none other than the Fantastic Four. All right. So did you know that?
Kind of loosely.
Okay. Right. So during the beginning of Saba Noor realizing that he's Apocalypse, the Fantastic Four are on the scene pursuing Rama Tut, because Rama Tut is from the future. All right.
Yeah.
So I like I appreciate the way that Bodemayo writes these stories, that is still true to the spirit of the story, but instead of the Fantastic Four, you have the X-Men there. So it's still the same thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then next they're pretty much it was a battle scene with in Sabanor fighting against the general.
Right.
And it was like a foreshadowing scene that had like the dust, like the sand clear, and it showed Apocalypse walking through the sand, and it was really, and then it switched back to Sabanor. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, they did that in the Ahsoka series. We see like Anakin walking like a flash of light. He's like Vader. Yeah. They like doing that. Seems Disney Marvel.
Yeah, so he took down the general. I believe they captured. Okay, so he had a choice of killing the general in front of his army. Like his army was like cheering it on, and I think, did Magneto tell him to stop, or was it?
I do remember that Logos got captured, but
Yeah,
we see
He
like Apocalypse like
captured.
broke through the gate. Like he did something crazy, and so when they captured Logos, Ball like pulls Sabanor to the side. He's like, "Why are you listening to these dudes?" He's like, "Kill this dude, kill Logos. Like he gonna kill us once him to get the chance."
Yeah. And then who's his right hand man? His name was Ball.
Ball, yeah, Baal, Ball.
Yeah, that was the first time he uttered the line "survival of the fittest."
Yes.
Yeah, which is like a quote that Apocalypse says, and we know that he got it from him. No.
Mm-hmm. And that is very comic accurate too, Jada, because Ball, and I don't know if you ever saw X-Men Evolution. It was like a younger X-Men incarnation, but when they show like glimpses of Apocalypse's like origins, they show Ball train in Sabanor. So again, I like the attention to detail. I like how they're sticking to the comic lore.
Yeah, and then it cut to a scene where Beast is trying out some more of the technology to see if it could power the wristbands, but none of the technology was strong enough. So then they knew that they needed to find a stronger power source, and then that led to more conversations with Magneto and Sabanor. He's pretty much still plotting on trying to try to lie to him to keep him on their side. He's thinking it's working, but then he's still going against Ball, which is still there, which is like he's ready to kill everything. He's ready to set fire. So
and Sabanor's voice actor is just killing it. Like I don't know what his name is, but he was also a character in the Netflix Castlevania series. But his in Sabanor, there is a difference. There is a distinction between Sabanor and Apocalypse. That's why I keep stopping myself from saying Apocalypse. But he is killing it voice acting wise in Sabanor.
Yeah. And then it cut to a conversation between there's another conversation between Magneto and Professor X. And Professor X was mad that he told Sabanor that he was destined for something greater, because now he's like he now knows that he's gonna become something eventually. Well, he's feeding into like the delusions of prophecy and godhood. He's already giving him that battery to be put in his back.
All right, now when did the vision come into place? Because they said like somebody had a vision of it turns out to be one of the Celestials, but they said he had a somebody had a vision. Was it
Yeah.
Logos, the guy that captured? Was he the one that had the vision?
Yeah. That was the very next scene.
Okay.
They were
My bad.
doing
I
like
didn't mean
an
to interrupt your
interrogation.
flow.
They were doing an interrogation in Salvador. He was about to kill him, about to cut his head off with like the sickle.
Uh-huh.
I believe that's what it's called. And but Magneto stopped it. And then Professor X, they told something to Salvador. He walked out the room. And then Professor X looked into the mind of Logos because he was looking for the pyramid for like the power source that could like potentially power the bands. And then once he looked into his mind, that's when he saw the celestial, the pyramid, the pharaoh who was really behind all this. That's where he started seeing all that when he looked into the mind of the general.
All right, now let me throw this out there. All right. A lot of people criticize the Bryan Singer directed X-Men Apocalypse movie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But he could only work with what he was allowed to work with. Now,
Yeah.
Apocalypse is a creation of the Celestials, but Fox did not have the right or the rights to add Celestials to their movies. So that's why, like, people were kind of criticizing, like, the wanky, like, I honestly, I like the transference scene, the very first scene. I thought that was the best scene in the movie. Unfortunately, it was the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of him instead of it playing out the way it does in X-Men 97, they literally had to come up with their own way to explain how he transferred from scene to scene. So it was like computerized lines doing all this, like, showing the transference. So I just want to throw that out there. Like Bryan Singer really had to make it up on the spot as far as the origin of Apocalypse.
Yeah. That's really a huge part to have to work around too, because having a celestial be the reason that makes a lot of sense, because they would explain the technology, the all of like the pretty much the future knowledge of like events and how it's gonna play out. That's a huge part to have to cut out.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't remember if it was this episode or the next episode, but did Ramatut capture somebody and then he explains who he is?
That was the next episode, because
so
this episode, it's still I know Ball died, I think, in this one.
Okay.
And then that's when in Salvador uttered the line "survival of the fittest" again. So it was like, oh shit, he's bloodlusted now.
And this time he was successful in killing Logos.
So at this point, Magneto, I'm sure, knew his plan failed.
Right, because he cut his head off like whop.
Yeah. Should have killed him when you had the chance, Charles.
Right, should have killed him. Right.
Yeah. Should have took out Salvador when you had the chance. Now he's now not only is he bloodlusted, but now he knows that he's destined for something greater. So it's like he has a new purpose now, than just being a slave fighting a war.
And I really feel like I love the animation, I love the lore, the accuracy of the lore, but I really feel like this is the best voice acting of the series so far, even though it's only the third episode in. But it's so real, it's so like tangible, like the conversations between Salvador and Magneto, the conversations with the brief ones with Salvador and I think he spoke to Charles Xavier once, because Magneto was the one that was really gassing him up. But you see like the how Salvador is really wavering, and Ball is saying, don't listen to these people, like these Outlanders. I think he called them Outlanders. And he's like a metronome. You know what I mean? Like, how you want to keep a beat if you have a bunch of like a whole orchestra.
Yeah.
And so he's like leaning this way. But then the death of Ball, just like in the comics, just like in X-Men Evolution, when Ball dies, that's when Salvador said, "I freak this. Survival of the fittest. Whop." So off come Logos' head. And Sabanor's like, forget all this peace crap y'all talking. I'm taking control. You know what I mean? And they're from the future.
Yeah.
So now in Sabanor, that's a part of his future knowledge too. It's like because of Magneto running his mouth when they really should have just let everything play out. You know what I mean? Because they were collecting. I forgot this part too, Jay. Like the X-Men were going back and salvaging parts of a machine that I think Ramatut was attacking them with. Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so like then when I think like in Sabanor like caught them like with the stolen parts, and he's like, "What are y'all doing?" You know what I mean? And then I think that's when Magneto was forced to tell them where they were from or whatever. But
yeah, and then you said something to the effect of you lied to me and all that. So it kind of put them in a bad light because they didn't tell the whole truth. So it made them look like they were pretty much just there to deceive and not.
Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that you don't really see in Sabanor exploring his powers. You only see his like Hulk-like strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because in the comic books, Apocalypse is stronger than the Hulk before the Hulk gets enraged. He's one of the few characters that are like the Abomination is stronger than baseline Hulk. Apocalypse is physically stronger than baseline Hulk. So when he threw that huge statue and broke down that gate, I was like, they putting respect on in Sabanor's strength. So I definitely appreciated that. Again, the voice acting, I don't know what the voice actor's name is, but I'm talking spectacular stuff. I'm like, they better be nominated for an Emmy for that performance. They better be.
Yeah.
So as far as a grade goes, I'm gonna give this one an A+ for the voice acting, for the animation, for the story. It's not nonstop action, but there's character development. You see the dilemma that Sabanor is in. It's like, do I rely on what I was raised with Ball having that, survival and fittest mentality? Is like, or do I walk into my destiny knowing that I have a future? Because think about it, Jada God. If somebody were to come and tell us about our futures, that would make what we're learning now seem minuscule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really not as black and white or cut and dry as it's presented to the characters. Because I know if somebody told me, yeah, you're gonna be a billionaire, I'm gonna lean towards the person that tells me I'm gonna be a billionaire rather than what I'm learning now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, because if I got billions, like I can take care of all y'all. You know what I mean? Because that's the dilemma Apocalypse and Sabanor is in. It's like I can take care of all of you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I give this one an A+. Jada God, what's your grade for this Rise of Apocalypse Part 1?
Yeah, I'm gonna also give this a A+. This is solid all around. No complaints from me. Also, and then for like another tidbit, I believe the voice actor for Apocalypse did something also for Marvel Rivals. I did recognize the voice too, so that was funny. Yeah, he did Dracula of all people for Rivals.
All right. Now, okay. Now that's funny that he voiced Dracula because I have a graphic novel where Apocalypse fights Dracula in like the 13th century. So that's funny.
I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting that.
I do have it.
Yeah, but it was a great episode. Great setup. It kind of showed how Magneto would go to any means to help mutants.
Yeah,
even if it means
he dropped the ball though.
Yeah. Yeah, even if it means trying to convert one of your greatest enemies to like your whole race, you still trying to do it because it might help you in the future. So
right, he's so dead set. He's so dead set on advancing his own agenda that he's like putting the world in jeopardy. Like,
and then it was cool to see. It was cool to see also how how even Professor X was so scared that he was willing to just like forego everything he preaches.
Right.
This one time, he's always on the don't kill, we can rehabilitate. He's like, nah, f this.
Right.
We got to get him out. So yeah, that was funny to see.
Right. So that was Rise of Apocalypse Part 1. Again, there's an entire comic series. There's a 4 comic series run from 96 that shows this origin of Apocalypse. But I just really appreciate this. I'm hoping that over the course of the origins of Apocalypse that we see how Ozymandias comes into being. Now, Ozymandias was in episode 1. He was the rock guy. He was like he looked like a pharaoh, but he was made out of rock. You remember him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Ozymandias was a general as well, okay, under Rama-Tut. And so when Apocalypse, in the comic books, I'm not spoiling the episode yet, but when Apocalypse becomes, I mean, when Ansabanor becomes Apocalypse, he uses like those celestial powers to turn Ozymandias into that stone scribe that he is now. So we're going to go right into, so this is a 2-parter. Ha, bang, bang, get more for your buck. More bang for your buck. Apocalypse, Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. Same voice actors. We see that now Ansabanor is an op. Okay. So he has a little, I think he had wasn't he fighting Magneto at the beginning or something?
No. He didn't fully turn yet, but he's like a little suspicious.
But he already
like
chopped off Logos' head, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Ball died already.
Okay.
At the start of the episode, they're figuring out their travels to the pyramid to follow the vision that Professor X saw. So they could so that they could get the power to finally go back home. So they're following up on that plan.
All right, now
and they're going with Ansabanor to start out.
So now there are a lot of throwbacks in this episode, the Rise of Apocalypse Part 2, where I think Beast is reading the hieroglyphics. Oh no, that's after they make it inside the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you can keep walking us through it.
Yeah. So it was just a long conversation. It was like nighttime, so they set up camp, and then no. I'm back up. Professor X, he read the mind of Ansabanor, and that's when we see the vision of him being abandoned as a child.
Okay.
You know, and they pretty much show like his whole backstory within like that vision of him growing up as being like a slaver, and then him growing up to him leading the eventual rebellion. And he saw the constellation from that was the Celestial.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and then from there, that's when they found out, or he got the idea that the constellation lined up above the pyramid that they need to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they figured out where the pyramid was.
Okay.
From the constellation of the Celestial.
And this is something that I really feel like a lot of comic book movies miss out on is character moments. Like, I think a lot of times we as the audience, we're just watching people fight, and we don't really know why they're fighting. We don't really see any conviction. Like if Captain America is like fighting Hydra, he's not gonna have like a moment to pause and go, why am I fighting? You know what I mean? He's just like, oh, you're good, they're bad. Fight. But in this one is not as black and white, like as I said for the previous episode. It's like if Ansabanor accomplishes too much too early, the timeline will be skewed either way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it's like, I know Professor X wishes he could undo what happened, but I know he couldn't. So that's why he's kind of like trying to be like a moral buffer for Insabanor as they go charging into the enemy's camp. Even though Professor X knows they need to get home, so they still need to break in. But it's like, how do you tell like a battering ram not to break down a door? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's the intelligence of the script and the dialogue is very pertinent to this show.
Yeah. Okay, so next they is nighttime, so they set up camp. Everybody goes to sleep because they want rest before they embark on the next journey, which is going into the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pharaoh Ramatut, he puts on like a version of like Cerebro almost.
Oh
And
yeah,
he speaks to which is kind of ironic, but he then speaks to Charles through his dreams, and he's pretty much like taunting him, like he reveals himself like I'm king, the conqueror.
right. Kang the
Essentially.
Conqueror is Ramatut.
Yeah.
Ramatut.
Yep. And he pretty much reveals his true intentions. And then next scene is them going into the pyramid. Beast has like a tracker device or something, I guess for like a power source.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw that the energy in the pyramid was pretty much off the charts, like it's something alien, foreign.
Mm-hmm.
And then they split up into groups. It was Professor X, Bishop, and Sabanor, and then everybody else went with Beast, Rogue, Magneto. They went another way. They went into a like a room that had like a bunch of technology in it, and then Beast was like, he figured out that this is not from this time period.
Right.
And matter of fact, this is somebody we fought before. This is Kang's technology.
Right. And
Uh,
and Beast recognized the voice, like when the ship
yeah,
spoke. And he's like,
yeah,
ship? Because in the original animated series of X-Men, there's an episode in season
yeah,
3 called Obsession, where Warren Worthington, Archangel, was trying to destroy Apocalypse, but Apocalypse was in this ship that was sentient, like the ship itself was like speaking, and Beast formed a friendship with the ship. So for
yeah,
Beast to go thousands of years in the past and to meet the ship again, he's like, we've met before, or whatever. I
yeah,
thought that was a nice little callback, whatever.
yeah. So he's like, this is not only a pyramid, this is like an actual living weapon.
Right.
Yeah. So then it cuts to the other team of Bishop, Professor X, and Salvador, and they went like deeper into like the pyramid, like to like the main chamber.
Uh-huh.
And this is the part where they see on the walls all the hieroglyphs and inscriptions and pictures of what's to come
That was
in the
crazy.
future. Yeah, and it had it pretty much had the event that's gonna happen in a few minutes right on the wall.
Right.
And then the Salvador is like, wait, that's me. And then he starts putting like two and two together, and then it's just downhill. And then
Yeah.
and then Professor X is like, ah, shit. And then he put the fingers up to his head. He's like, hurry up, it's
Right.
location now.
He
Yeah,
was cooked.
and then
He was cooked.
yeah, and then everything just goes left from there. I think I think the Celestial actually came down at this moment, or like he activated the ship,
Right. It was like a
and then
chamber inside of the ship, but it looked like
yeah,
Apocalypse's head, and I mean Apocalypse, like is
yeah,
it this huge, like, well, not huge, but it was like an entrance to like this chamber, but it looked like Apocalypse's like robotic head opened his mouth, and then Saba Noor was like, "All right, my destiny is in here." So he enters, and they have like that shard, like that crystal or whatever. Remember that purple crystal? And I think that's a celestial death seed. That's from the comics. That terminology is from the comics. A celestial death seed. So when Saba Noor goes to it, and it breaks apart, and it like kind of coats his whole body with celestial technology, and that's when he emerges as the Apocalypse that they did not want to bring about early.
Yes. So the crystal, the shard you just talked about, it emerges, but right before he grabs it, Rogue comes in and punches him.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't even matter because he comes right back up. He comes right back up after that punch and just 1v1s everybody. Even Magneto wasn't a match.
Right. Because
So
he had no metal on him, so
yeah, he's just menacingly walking. This is before he even gets the Apocalypse armor. He's just handling everybody, no problem.
Yeah.
Got Professor X just waiting in the cut. He can't do much.
He in a wheelchair. What are you gonna do against somebody with Hulk levels?
Yeah. So then he touches the crystal. He got, and he thinks everybody's a liar now because he didn't see the walls. He thinks he thinks Professor X and Magneto is just trying to hide him from his true purpose now.
Right.
Yeah. So once he touches the crystal, he speaks with the Celestial, and the Celestial's like, I choose you to be my like avatar now and stuff. And he gets blessed with the armor. So he's pretty much unstoppable now. He's fully Apocalypse.
Right. And I think he's able to take control of the ship now, right? Because he has the Apocalypse armor.
Yeah.
So then the ship just go coursing over the desert like, vroom!
He gives the command to the ship to pretty much lay waste to everything.
Right, destroy everything.
Yeah, it was like, oh man. And then at this point, either Bishop or Beast was like, we gotta go now. We gotta get out of here.
Right, and but Magneto and Professor X stay behind though for some stupid reason.
Yeah, well, it was Magneto that was like, I'm gonna stay behind to try to fix the wrongs I've done because he effed up trying to do what he did. But only reason Professor X stayed behind because he wanted Magneto to come with him. He was like holding on to him, and then it was a blast that happened right before the portal closed. So yeah, it's Magneto and Professor X stuck. And then you got Professor X and Magneto just watching a fully transformed, newly formed Apocalypse, and it's like, oh Lord, he man grew like a Power Rangers villain. He's like 50 feet tall now, just towering over them.
Right, because that's part of Apocalypse's power set is he can like alter like his body and stuff.
Yeah,
I like that because you don't really see Apocalypse like fighting like that. You usually just see like his horsemen and his henchmen. You know what I mean? Like in the very first episode, Days of Past Future, you see like those robots, fighting Cyclops and Jean and all them. So it was good to see him like go 1-on-1 with like 1v2 with Professor X and Magneto, the two most dynamic forces in the current mutant timeline. Like is Magneto or Professor X in the regular timeline? Neither one of them, not even together, can they stop Apocalypse. It's crazy.
Yeah, they ain't even standing a chance. So then Magneto, at this point, he does his OP Magneto stuff, and he's trying to stop the ship from destroying all of Egypt.
You're right. Now, Jay, I don't know if you noticed this, but when they were showing like an overhead shot of like the beam coming down or whatever, and they show like the villagers or whatever they are like running out of the way. That is taken directly from the animation of X-Men Apocalypse. Like I'll show it to you afterwards. But is the same motion of the guy running, the same destruction. Except in the movie, that's when the pyramid started imploding. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you it afterwards. Like I was like, man, they really love X-Men. They're going by the movies, they're going by the comics, the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah. So Magneto was able to save the city, but it was still some destruction done and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So it was still collateral, but it wasn't completely obliterated thanks to Magneto. But then this is where at this point he was like weakened because of the strain and toll it took on him.
All right.
And then we see Apocalypse just roll up on Magneto. I was on the ground. He just picks him up. He takes the cannon out, and then like with the way that like the cannon lit up, you saw like his whole like skeleton light up. I was like, oh man, he's about to get done up. Yeah. This man Apocalypse fired. The only thing left was his helmet. I'm like, oh man.
Right. Professor X was just horrified,
Yeah.
like because he ain't got no wheelchair. He don't have a hover chair, so he's useless right now.
Yeah, he's just there left to watch, and it's like, oh man. And then it was a chilling line. Apocalypse said he was like, only a coward feels mighty for stepping on an ant or something like that. I was like, oh.
Like Professor X was actually a cripple in this moment. Like he was a useless cripple in this moment.
Yeah, I was like, geez. So he killed Magneto, just left Professor X for dead, and just kept walking.
Now, is he still in the past, Professor X, or did like somebody beam back?
No, I think it was Bishop that came back for him, but at that point he was still there, just like crying with the helmet in his hand.
I gotta rewatch these episodes, Jay. Like these are just too good.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch these. And there's one shot. It's like a wide shot. Like a Professor X is like helpless at the bottom of a sand dune, and Apocalypse is standing at the top of it, and like his shadow is like covering everything. I just thought it was very artistic the way that was done.
Yeah. It was at that moment where you said the line, because he kept walking. It looked like he was gonna like stomp on his head, but it was a wide shot, so he just kept walking. But so he's there, just like it's nighttime now. It was daytime or like late afternoon. I guess it was like a sunset when Magneto died, and it was nighttime by the time Bishop came back for Professor X. He was still there in the same spot, just crying over the helmet, and then he took Professor X back to the present, and that's how the episode ended. So it was just like you was just left with the gravity of Magneto dying, getting murked by Apocalypse.
And we don't see Apocalypse kill people like that either in the cartoon. So I appreciate, even we know Magneto's coming back. You're not going to kill off Magneto, we know this. But the visual alone was just stunning. Like I remember when I first watched it, I watched it when I was on tour, Jay the God. And so we're both looking at it like, he just murked Magneto. Like there's nothing left of Magneto but his helmet. It's crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, I love the pacing of this episode. I love the gravitas that they gave to the Apocalypse character. Like Apocalypse felt like Apocalypse. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we only saw glimpses of that really powerful Apocalypse in the X-Men animated series because he always had the horsemen around him. But this one, there's no horsemen. There's no henchman. He got to do all the heavy lifting. He got to do all the legwork. So I know people were complaining about, two Omega level mutants and Magneto and Professor X not being able to stop Apocalypse, but it's Apocalypse. Like they don't know who Apocalypse is. You know what I mean? Like he's not just I don't know if he's Omega level without the celestial, aspect to him, because once you're celestial, you're a god.
Yeah.
So let me give a little history. So the fact that Apocalypse became, armored Apocalypse is actually like hundreds of years before he actually becomes the armored Apocalypse in the comic books. So that's why this is such a L that Magneto tried to talk this man into becoming something that he wasn't meant to be, because now he's the Apocalypse earlier in history. So I said all that to say this. So in X Factor number, is it 37? I think it's the second. No, X4. Excuse me, X-Force number 37. We see when Apocalypse actually goes to the celestial ship and becomes Armored Apocalypse. But that's not until like the 14th or the 13th century. So he's becoming Apocalypse like way back in AD. So Magneto has just personally cooked the entire Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But one thing I do want to see, Jada God, I want to see how Apocalypse rising earlier affects the entire Marvel universe in animation. I don't just want to see it as far as it concerns the X-Men. I want to see everybody affected by this.
Yeah. I would definitely love to see the effects of and the aftermath of this, because there's definitely gonna be some problems after this.
Yeah. That ain't the word, problems. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
There's something I was gonna say. I was forgetting.
Oh, my bad. I was probably talking too much.
No, that's fine. This episode did have an after credit though.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. You want to talk about it now?
Yeah, we can do it now. Well,
okay, so
go ahead.
Yeah, so it showed it showed Wolverine on the rooftop, and lo and behold, the almighty Boy Scout Captain America shows in.
Right, and classic Captain America gear too.
Yeah, and it had it had a classic Black Widow behind him too.
Yes.
And then it was Steve. He handed over like files on the Weapon X program, and he was like, I don't know what you need this for, Logan, but here. So that pretty much set up the next episode, which
right, because Wolverine said I got a team of my own. Yeah.
So I'm excited to talk about as great as this episode was. I'm excited to talk about the next one.
Yeah, we gonna say that for the next podcast.
Yeah.
But yes, Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. There's nothing more they could have given me from this episode. I'm talking about from the callback to that massive ship. Like the ship was like miles long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not just a spaceship that's flying around. This thing is like miles long. It's like a city basically. We see like the difference between Nsaba Noor and Armored Apocalypse. That's why I kept differentiating Nsaba Noor and Apocalypse, because there's a difference. Like Nsaba Noor is a problem, but Apocalypse is a world global threat. You know what I mean? Like for instance, in a storyline called Blood of Apocalypse, he goes to the UN in this huge Sphinx. This massive ship is literally overshadowing the United Nations. Okay. And he goes to the General Assembly room, addresses every nation, and he says, kill 10% of the world's population, or I'm killing everyone on the planet. So this so he basically told the world leaders, kill off I'm sorry, I said that wrong. He said kill off 90% of your population. He told the world leaders that. Kill off 90% of your population, or I'm wiping out 100%. So like we see the global threat that Apocalypse poses to the entire Marvel universe. In that storyline, the Secret Avengers were called. S.H.I.E.L.D. was called to stop Apocalypse. So I just love the attention. I love the menace of Apocalypse. Apocalypse is one of my favorite Marvel villains and one of my favorite comic book villains, period. And I don't think he's as powerful as Darkseid or Thanos, but he's still sort of in that sort of like sort of realm.
I was yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he first like when he was overlooking Magneto, like when he was about to kill him, he was more menacing than Thanos. Like I would have loved to see that live action, because that would have been like, he would have been like head and heels above how we seen Thanos. Because like with Thanos, they kind of like humanized him.
Oh my! I was now Jacob. If you know the lore of Apocalypse,
Yeah.
That's who Thanos was in Infinity War. He was not Thanos. Thanos in the comic books worships death, wants to kill everything.
Yeah.
But talking about the whole like survival of the fittest and like killing off half the population, that is Apocalypse in Infinity War.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an actual monster, and they showed that. So I was happy to see that.
Yes, I was. It was so good to see like OP Apocalypse. Again, it's like you said, Jada God, presenting characters in the correct light to an audience that is seeing them for the first time. If you never saw Apocalypse before this, after you're watching these 2 episodes, you were like, "Oh, he a problem. Oh, he a problem. He's a serious problem." And he is like a global level threat. You know what I mean? So as far as the grade goes for Rise of Apocalypse Part 2, this is another A+ in my book. The voice acting, the dilemma of Apocalypse, because this is an Apocalypse episode. This is about Apocalypse. You know, does N'Saba remain N'Saba, or does he take those next steps to become Apocalypse? We know what he picked because he, like you said, he looked at the hieroglyphs on the wall. He's like, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do." And then in the middle of the hieroglyph, on either side of him, is Magneto and Professor X on the hieroglyph. Yeah. So the timeline is already effed up. So he's like, "All right, I'm gonna be Apocalypse then." So this is an A+ for me. Yeah. Jordan, what you got?
Yeah, this is 2 back-to-back A+. I'm gonna cheat a little and say A++ because I got this.
Oh no!
I got this rank.
There is an A++ grade. You can give it now if you want.
Yeah, because I add this ranked over Part 1.
Okay. So what you're saying is a S tier episode. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. Easy. Right. This is an easy S.
Yeah. Well, you can tell if you're watching us for the first time, if you're watching X-Men 97 or the X-Men period, this is your first introduction to them. You see how much the Tri-State Boys love the X-Men. We're only 2 of the 3. Jada God from Queens. Queens get the money. John Batt, 426 from Philly, the city of brotherly love. We absolutely love the X-Men. The X-Men is my favorite comic book group. Yes, I like them more than the Justice League. I like them more than the Fantastic Four. I like them more than the Outsiders. I like them more than the Avengers, Defenders, and Humans. None of them hold a candle to the X-Men, in my opinion. All right, so this is the Tri-State Boys. We really love doing this. We can't wait to go on to the next episode, episode 5. Coming to you guys soon on a pod near you. And this is the Tri-State Boys signing off. Peace. You got any last words, Jay?
Peace. I'm just ready to talk about the next one.
Yes, sir. And we are going to bring it to you sooner rather than later. Peace out.
All right.
Yes, I'm sure.